the other thing I want to bring up about this is that this really seems to be the new trend in the NHL, paying guys what you think they're going to be worth rather than rewarding them for the accomplishments in the last contract. Because when you look at Subban's numbers, they're good. PK Subban is an all-star level defenseman. Is he a $9 million man though? I almost feel like this is an investment in more Norris trophies, more all-star team selections, things of that nature, rather than looking at what PK Subban has accomplished to this point and saying, okay, this is what you've earned based on this.
Right.
So is that a salary cap thing, do you think, or is that just the new way of doing business in the NHL?
I think I agree with you, Carlin. I couldn't agree with you more. And the other thing that I would do if I was Bergeron, I'd tell my owner, listen, it's okay. He's a hell of a player. I want him on my team, but I want you to know this is going to cost us money down the road with other players.
Yeah,
definitely will.
Yeah, so if you're Carey Price in a couple of years, when you come to that situation, or do you just look at Subban's contract and say, okay, you give him 9, I want 9?
Yeah, and I'm thinking about when Stamkos comes up here in Tampa.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Subban's a defenseman, but it doesn't matter. He's a star of the team.
Right.
This is a star of our team. So I remember when we drafted Vinny Lecavalier, and remember Bob Sauvé?
Mm-hmm.
Bob Sauvé was Vinny's agent at the time. And I remember sitting there, and we're getting right down to the end because if by 12 o'clock I had to have him signed or else he goes back to junior. And and the truth was, Thornton's contract, everything Thornton had in his contract with the Boston Bruins and what Harry Sinnen gave him, I had to give him 8% more.
Why 8% more?
Well, that was the negotiation. And if I was trying to give him 5% more and do the same bonuses and everything else as Joe got. But Joe didn't play, if you remember that first year in Boston.
Yeah, he was like a healthy scratch most of the season, wasn't he, for Mike Keenan?
But Vinny Lecavalier played, and he played every game because we were a last-place team, and he played very well, and he got every goddamn bonus.
Wow.
Cost us an extra $3 or $4 million.
So if you're doing that kind of negotiation and you know that it's going to cost you a lot more than you were budgeted for, as a manager, do you say, okay, how do I make more money out of this? Then how do I gain that revenue? Do you do more with Lecavalier in the community? Do you have him sell? What, if anything, can you do to recoup that money that you weren't expecting to pay, Phil?
Well, there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
For hopefully on the ice he produces and gets us playoff games and gets to the championship and all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah.
PK Subban's a hell of a defenseman, and he's a good player. I mean, I was shocked that he didn't play a lot with Team Canada. I was.
Yeah, I think he was a healthy scratch for most of the games, or the seventh defenseman in most of them.
Well, that's what Babcock really thought he had to do to win.
Yeah.
Is play defense.
Right, exactly.
And, I remember when Bobby Orr first came into the league, people were saying, oh, he's not such a good defenseman, he's too offensive. Paul Coffey, another one. Same sort of thing. And Bobby, his first year, played center, because I remember playing center against him at center in Chicago one night. And he was with Boston, I was with Chicago, it was my last year in Chicago. And he's taking a face-off against me. I was like, he's playing forward? But of course, Bobby revolutionized the game. I think Doug Harvey was the first one really be a guy, go forward, you know what I mean? Offense.
Yep.
Bobby Orr just revolutionized the game.
Yeah, he sure did. And if you ask a lot of people who have seen Orr, Lemieux, Richard, Gretzky, they'll put Orr at number one for the best player of all time. They won't even blink an eye.
Yeah.
They'll say Orr number one.